Before I started the course of urban planning, I suppose I didn't really know what urban planning was.
How do you explain what planning is? Oh, I don't know.
Planning is such a diverse area of expertise.
It's basically starting from the ground up to organise our communities and organise our society, our transport and everything to make sure that things get built that are appropriate and that get built well, and that our transport flows properly so that we can get from A to B and efficiently and now sustainably, because that's the big word. So.
You can, such a broad profession, I suppose. You can go and do anything from small scale community development to larger scale strategic planning and that kind of thing.
So that it's like The Sims, it's like SimCity minus the Godzilla.
Lots of people know about planning. They know it affects them in their lives. They know that where they live, when things get developed, there's decisions get made about that. I think a lot of people don't put that together with what actually happens. So how do you think about what happens in your street and what that means for a whole city or a whole region?
But it's not just drawing a map and handing it off to someone. It's about understanding and talking to people and understanding how people work and therefore how towns work, because a town isn't just a physical object, it's the people living in it.
I suppose the opportunity when you're working in planning is that you're actually crossing between the built environment, the natural environment, and of course communities and how communities behave, how individuals behave. In lots of cities around the world, thinking about changing the way people use pedestrian spaces. You know, for a long time it's been assumptions that people want to drive everywhere, that cities should be made for cars. A good example that we see everywhere is where people are saying, no, we want to reclaim those streets for people, and that's got social and economic outcomes. It's good for economies, it's good for people.
Just that it isn't just the kind of the physical structure, that you look at everything, the social structure and economics.
It's not just about the city, it's about the country as well, and everything, yeah, as a whole working together.
We have lots of debates all the time about public transport issues, about road funding, about the growth of cities and population, and planning affects all of those things.
But yeah, I still get the question of what is urban planning, and I just tell them I design cities.
Why did I do planning? Oh, that age-old question.
So I stumbled across planning when I had put down for my preferences going out of Year 12 like into universities. I'd put down all the architecture courses I wanted to do and came across urban planning and had a read, and it kind of was exactly what I wanted to do. I always thought architecture was exactly what I wanted to do, but I found planning and it kind of combined my love for kind of structure and order and that's, you know, kind of design side of my brain, and it combined that with my love for learning about people and society, and also combine that with kind of sustainability and being able to help people. It just encompassed everything.
And one of the reasons to do planning is, of course, it's also there's work. And there's work in Australia, there's work overseas. At the moment, planning is listed as one of the skilled occupations for coming into Australia.
Because I'm only in my first year of planning, being able to sort of associate with professional planners, I'm learning more than I think I would have just sitting in a classroom, and learning from them the good and the bad parts of practicing planning as well.
There's only so many different aspects of cities that you can see in Australia.
Something I've always been interested in is working in developing countries, and we already got a bit of a taste of that. A group of students went to Sri Lanka.
So that was 5 to 6 weeks of study and touring for students. It was actually a project, collaborating with Sri Lankan students and actually doing study, learning about the Sri Lankan planning system by doing it.
There are also some issues that no town planner would have ever faced. Particularly, this is an area with a very rich elephant habitat. So how do you plan with elephants?
After 6 or 7 o'clock here, they have to leave the area because the elephants come out, and there's actually been some conflicts between the elephants and the people here, fighting over the space by the sounds of it.
So we've got a busload of students here today from the University of Trobe and La Trobe University, and they're walking together around the town talking to residents and business people. We've got a survey that they're asking questions from, asking them about what they like and what they don't like about their town.
You know, just the idea that you can make an impact and do something through the course you're studying is pretty rare and pretty great feeling as well, I reckon.
I didn't know anything about planning when I started, and now I notice that I do pick up things that I would never have noticed before. So
yeah, I was taking more notice of, you know, the transport situations, the way buildings are situated,
where the sidewalks are, whether there's one on each side of the road or just none at all.
I think you become more well-rounded. It's not theoretical. It's living it. It's experiencing. It's realising how good we have it back home.
You know, it was the best kind of accidental discovery I've ever made because, you know, my life is great because of it. So.
At Trobe in Bendigo, we run 2 planning courses. We run 2 accredited by the Planning Institute of Australia, an undergraduate program, so it's a 4-year course. We also run postgraduate studies, so we run a master's program by coursework, which it attracts a lot of international students as well. They're quite interested in those issues, particularly in an Australian setting. It gives them a chance to see another place themselves.
Before I entered the course, I virtually didn't know anything about Bendigo. It's a great little regional city to live in. There's a lot going on. It's an hour and a half from Melbourne, so if you do want to go to the city, it's easy to get to. It's on a train, and you know, and there's actually a really good nightlife.
Well, it seems like a lot of people kind of start going here and everyone goes, this is actually quite good.
It's got a fair nightlife because of all the uni students here.
There's a few good pubs around, I suppose, and that's part of it as well. There's a bit of a crew around here of uni students. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Everyone in the course is just so different. There's mature age, there's people just out of school, boys and girls.
I enjoy it because it's a new course and everyone's really enthusiastic. The lecturers are enthusiastic, all the staff are enthusiastic about it.
I've really found that being at a university, a smaller university, it's a lot more intimate. You get to know your lecturers.
Lecturers are very easy to approach, and having such a small group, it's possible to get some projects done. And with the connections that the lecturers have, which are actually used in practice, actually put into practice in the community.
With our course particularly, of course, we've got the advantage that local governments that are really appreciative of the opportunity to have students coming in and working with them.
Just yesterday we went to Harcourt and we're doing an urban design framework which will be considered by the council. It's not just sitting around doing essays and doing some theory work and then handing in assignments. Your assignments are actually real life projects.
So we've got a really clear interest in getting students from day one, seeing this as not only an area of study, but as something you might see as a career.
This is a really good course. I would recommend this to anybody that is looking for anything to do, ever. How can I phrase that better?
Yeah, I reckon it's a great profession to get into, planning, because it gives you so many options. You know, you've got DSE, you've got Golden Murray Water, CFA, Vic Roads, and a planner can work at all these places.
So many people are attracted to the course because there are so many different areas and it's a diverse and varied kind of career to enter.
I mean, the job prospects are so good that it seems silly to get into anything else.
You know, for me it was a total success across the board. I don't regret it one bit and everything's worked out fantastically for me.
But it has everything here and the course is just really good. It's kind of perfect.